Right now at 5, Johnson County Sheriff Adam King faces a new indictment, how it's linked to his legal battle over sexual harassment accusations. A woman pleads guilty to a deadly crash that killed a Fort Worth police officer, the next step in the punishment phase. Wait times reach historic levels at some TSA checkpoints in Texas. Why a resolution could be weeks away. And imminent changes for the shops at Willow Bend, how the mall's partial demolition impacts the Dallas Star's possible move to Plano. But let's start with that developing story in Johnson County, where the sheriff now faces a new charge. Adam King is embroiled in accusations of sexual harassment, and Scoop Jefferson lays out what this new development means.
More legal troubles for Johnson County Sheriff Adam King, facing a new indictment of aggravated perjury. The longtime elected official already in hot water after a grand jury indicted him last August on a sexual harassment charge. Allegations employee Anna Goodlow brought forth, getting support by advocates like Brandy Cummings.
When victims are dismissed and not taken seriously, it keeps other victims silent. It keeps them from speaking up.
Sheriff King also indicted last summer for retaliation against a witness involving his deputy chief James Salter. Now, the new indictment linked to what the sheriff told the court on the witness stand last year. The new indictment filed here in Johnson County against Sheriff King also includes the exact testimony he gave last August, where prosecutors say he wasn't telling the truth. Asked under oath, have you changed Anna Goodlow's schedule at all? Sheriff King answered, I have not. Asked, no? No, I have not, King replied again. Then asked, she didn't go from 4/10s to 5/8s, referring to her workday and hours? The sheriff replied, I have no idea. Prosecutors allege, witnesses claim Sheriff King even talked about his accuser's work schedule. Sheriff King's legal team responded saying, as you know, the previous case was dismissed as being an illegal and unlawful indictment. This is more of the same and is all laughable, petty, and unprofessional.
I've known Adam King since the 1990s.
As part of his indictment agreement, the judge has allowed Sheriff King to remain in office, restricting his contact with his alleged victims. And no matter the outcome of the sheriff's case,
the biggest takeaway is that accountability matters.
After this new indictment, victim advocate Brandy Cummings says she's watching the case more closely now. In Johnson County, I'm Scoop Jefferson.
A drunk driver just agreed to plead guilty for causing a crash that killed a Fort Worth police officer. DeOjole Evans pleaded guilty to intoxication manslaughter. In the summer of 2024, Sergeant Billy Randolph was working an early morning crash on I-35 when Evans came the wrong way up a ramp and hit him. Sergeant Randolph died at a hospital nearby, and Evans drove away from the scene. Randolph was a veteran officer who served the Fort Worth PD for 29 years. Last year, the city renamed the South Patrol Division, honoring his commitment to public safety. A major vote is happening tonight, and it could impact thousands of children. Dallas ISD will decide whether to offer free pre-K to any family in the district. As Tiffany Liu reports, it could save families thousands of dollars.
This could be a game changer for families in Dallas. Tonight, the school board will be voting on free universal pre-K. We are talking free pre-K for all 3- and 4-year-olds in the district. Right now, free pre-K is limited at Dallas ISD to low-income and active duty military families, students learning English, those experiencing homelessness or in foster care, and to children of DISD teachers. But the vote tonight would expand free early childhood education to all 3- and 4-year-olds in the district. District leaders say they won't need to hire more teachers. They have the capacity to serve more children. The cost of pre-K at Dallas ISD right now is about $5,500 per year. So if approved, this could save families a lot of money. It also has the potential to boost enrollment in the district. DISD tells me the item is on the consent agenda. That means it's likely happening. Tonight is more of a formality for the school board to officially approve it. And Dallas ISD also tells me there is a schools fair coming up on April 11th, and that's where families can get a glimpse of what Dallas ISD's pre-K has to offer. That meeting starts at 6 o'clock tonight, where the board will vote on this free universal pre-K. And of course, we're going to be keeping a close eye on it. In Dallas, I'm Tiffany Liu.
We just get an update on the shops at Willow Bend. The owners plan to demolish part of the mall by this fall. They told our partners at the Dallas Business Journal it's part of the plan to build a mixed-use development called The Bend. And the owners say this plan will move forward regardless of whether the Dallas Stars choose to move there. The hockey team is exploring its options for a new arena right now. All right, let's turn to our evening commute. Here's Stacia with a look at what's happening on the roads.
All right, hey Chris, we are starting in Tarrant County where we've been watching this backup that continues to grow along 35W northbound at Northside. Now I know this is not the best camera shot, so just looking at the map, you can see how far that northbound traffic backup extends. It goes on for a few miles. Be aware of that. May not be a bad day to go ahead and take the express lanes or the managed lanes. Another area that we're watching, this is along I-35E northbound, so pretty close to the Dallas-Ellis County line in the DeSoto area. 35E northbound at Wintergreen, you had one lane blocked. It looks like they just cleared that, fortunately. Now we're heading to the east because we have a problem along 635 southbound. Right there at the I-20 interchange, you are starting to see a little bit of a backup there as a result. One more issue to let you know about. I don't really know if it's an issue for most of you all, but just an update to some road work. You know, we've had bridge closures along 67 and I-20 for the past month. It has just shifted. 67 southbound to I-20 eastbound will close tonight, and that is going to extend until mid-April. The detour right there on your screen, 20 westbound to Cockrell Hill, and then you can access I-20 eastbound from 67. Chris?
Thanks, Stacia. The Fort Worth PD is investigating a shooting after officers opened fire on a man. They were called to a home on Bonita Drive last night and found a man shooting towards other people's homes. Police say he charged at officers as they approached him and they shot him. Officers rendered aid until paramedics arrived and rushed him to a hospital. No officers were wounded, but the suspect was critically injured. In the past hour or so, President Trump announced that he's extending the deadline and won't attack Iran's power plants until April 6. He also claimed Iran is, quote, begging to make a deal. But according to Iranian state media, officials there deny any negotiations are even taking place. The president just held his first cabinet meeting since the war started. Tomorrow was the original deadline, but he says talks are going well.
Who wouldn't negotiate? They are begging to make a deal. We'll see if we can make the right deal. And if they make the right deal, then the strait will open up. Hormuz Strait will open up.
More than 2,000 Marines will arrive in the region tomorrow, and the Pentagon is deploying several thousand paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne. U.S. officials are unlikely to accept a scenario where oil supplies are indefinitely interrupted in the Strait of Hormuz. According to AAA, Texans are paying $3.61 a gallon right now, roughly the same as yesterday, but 3 cents more than last week and $1 more than a month ago, right before the war started. Lockheed Martin says it just reached a deal with the Defense Department to quadruple production of precision strike missiles. This is in addition to a separate $5 billion contract to ramp up missile production. The company has a major presence in Fort Worth where F-35 jets are made, and part of this new plan includes expanding capacity in Texas. It's been another frustrating day at Bush Airport in Houston. Take a look. Some travelers waited 4 hours to pass through security lanes. We're heading into a big weekend there between the men's Sweet 16 basketball games and the Houston Open. TSA agents continue to call out sick after going without a full paycheck for more than 40 days. ABC's Jacqueline Lee brings us up to speed on the gridlock in Washington.
Amid the spring break travel crush, chaos at airports nationwide is mounting, with security line wait times hitting historic levels.
Have your boarding passes out.
You can see the lines here at JFK sneaking all around the airport. Nearly 29% of TSA officers called out at JFK yesterday. ABC's Christian Cordero is in Houston, where lines have been the longest.
It snakes around this line for about a few laps or so before this group gets funneled back inside. Once you get inside, the wait's another 2 hours or so.
About 60,000 TSA officers have gone nearly a month without pay. For some, this is the second government shutdown since October.
They can't get back on their feet the way that we should be able to.
President Trump today blaming Democrats for the shutdown, and he's warned he might send the National Guard into airports.
They need to end the shutdown immediately, or we'll have to take some very drastic measures.
On Capitol Hill, Republicans offering to fund all areas of the Department of Homeland Security except for immigration enforcement.
Democrats need to get serious about funding the Department of Homeland Security.
But Democrats say the offer fails to address reforms to immigration enforcement, including barring ICE agents from wearing masks and requiring warrants signed by judges before they can enter private homes.
These are reforms the American people overwhelmingly support.
Hundreds of ICE agents deployed to at least 14 airports to help with crowd management. Some airlines, including Delta and United, are offering waivers to travelers from some of those hardest hit airports, allowing them to rebook flights without change fees. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Several protests broke out outside a courthouse in New York today as Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife appeared before a federal judge. The judge ruled the case against the couple will not be thrown out. Maduro's attorneys argue the U.S. is preventing Venezuela from paying his legal fees. Prosecutors claim Maduro still has access to his own personal money. Both of the Maduros face several charges of working with drug traffickers to move cocaine into the U.S. over the past 25 years. Some aspiring teachers just got a direct line to the classroom thanks to UT Arlington. The College of Education hosted its annual Career Day, connecting seniors with dozens of school districts in North Texas. About 130 students were able to meet potential employers face-to-face and potentially line up a job before graduating.
It's just been so exciting and such an amazing opportunity. I am a first-generation university student, so this is all very new to me, and then just learning the different routes and different people, and then just meeting everybody, it's been really a blessing.
UT Arlington certified more than 130 new teachers last year, many of whom are working in classrooms right now. Coming up next, authorities just made an arrest in an infamous cold case where police tracked down the suspect in Houston's Lover's Lane killings. And it's been 2 years since a major bridge collapsed in Baltimore. A look at the progress rebuilding the structure. And Lexus is recalling thousands of SUVs. The company says the issue puts drivers at risk of a crash.
I had a Friday cold front in my forecast. It's on the way. It'll cool us down for Saturday, a warm up on Sunday. And one other thing. Can you plant your garden? I have your garden forecast, some expert advice, and a cool app, too, coming up.